Warning guys, this video is pointless. If you want actual legitimate hockey discussion, don't look for it here. This is just a video talking about rumors. Bob McKenzie, man, he's starting up another storm here in Vancouver Canuck land. Earlier on the TSN Radio Vancouver, Bob McKenzie had stated that the Canucks did express interest in Carolina Hurricanes defenseman Noah Hanifin, but McKenzie also said that he wouldn't be surprised if Vancouver had expressed interest in Ryan O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly is a guy who I didn't even realize that the Canucks would have expressed interest in him, because what is Ryan O'Reilly supposed to be? He's supposed to be a good two-way center. And for the most part, do the Vancouver Canucks really need any more two-way centers? I mean, Horvat, Sutter, Granlund. Okay? And really, this is just kind of weird. It's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird to me, because when Bo Horvat was drafted, I remember when he was drafted 9th overall in 2013, all the guys on the panel were saying, oh yeah, you know, this Bo Horvat kid, he's really good two-way center. You know what I see in him? Ryan O'Reilly. I see Ryan O'Reilly in him, and some people have even gone on to saying Patrice Bergeron. And honestly, I think it's fair to say that you would rather have Horvat over O'Reilly, and at the same time, it would be fair to say that you'd have O'Reilly over Horvat. I think they're sort of in the same class in terms of two-way centers. It's just that O'Reilly has seemingly produced more points over his really long NHL career. He's played 650 games, 400 points in the NHL already, and in his most previous season, 81 games played, 61 points, 24 goals. So, obviously, O'Reilly is a good player. So, the Canucks might be after him. That's all McKenzie said. They might be after O'Reilly. At least, that's what he believes. And, of course, O'Reilly is probably better than any of the other centers we have right now, other than Horvat. Sutter, I'd rather have O'Reilly over Sutter. Granlund, yeah, same here. Henrik Sedin, no, you can't say that anymore. Tyler Mott, ha! Obviously. And then Adam Gaudette, we really don't have a gauge on him. But really, O'Reilly, yes, he's a player who is defined as good. He had a good bounce-back year this previous year, and for the most part, it's fair to say that the Canucks would have interest in him because he's a good player. It's just that I don't know if he's really needed. I mean, if the Canucks are able to be in a position where they don't have a Sutter anymore, I say, yeah, okay, go out for an O'Reilly. But what does an O'Reilly even cost? If we traded, like, a Sutter and a pick, or a Sutter and a prospect for an O'Reilly, I don't want to sacrifice any of the future here. I mean, Sutter's 2 years older than O'Reilly. O'Reilly's 27, Sutter's 29. And they play a similar game, it's just that O'Reilly is better. He gets more points, he's arguably better defensively, and overall O'Reilly is just a better player. So, obviously, like, I just wouldn't want to see a center core of Horvat, O'Reilly, Sutter, and then a Gaudette on the fourth line. Like, I don't want to see that. Get rid of Sutter, and then we can get O'Reilly. But at the same time, what does an O'Reilly cost? I mean, he's a consistent 50-60 point player every year, basically, after he became an NHL regular, and nowadays he's just up there. Consistent 20-goal seasons and 50-point seasons. On top of that, he's got a good defensive game, and he works really hard. O'Reilly is just a good player. That's the bottom line, and I don't know what the Canucks have that the Buffalo Sabres would be willing to say, yeah, we want that. Other than, like, I don't know, wingers? Defensemen? I don't know about Thatcher Demko because they already got themselves Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But other than that, they have defensemen. Rasmus Dahlin and Ristolainen, yes. I don't know if they'd want Olli Juolevi, but at the same time, he's the only defensive prospect that we have, so we're probably going to keep him. And for wingers, I mean, the Sabres, I mean, they have a really interesting core of wingers. Just looking at their first line, Rodriguez and Sam Reinhart, Scott Wilson, Kyle Okposo, Girgensons and Pominville. And then for their prospects, you know, they got Alexander Nylander and all that. Cliff Pugh is a guy who might become pretty good. And it's just interesting to take a look at, because other than that, I think they might be able to ask for a winger, maybe a Sven Berchi or whatever. But at the same time, who really knows? Because, for sure, they got centers, yeah. Even without O'Reilly, Eichel, Casey Mittelstadt. That's great. Rasmus Asplund looks like he might become pretty good as well. So I don't think that the Buffalo Sabres are in need of any really young guys, because we've been saying it for years. Defense, they got young defenders coming up. Goaltenders, they got one now. Forwards, okay. It's just that I think that they could benefit from having a few more established, in their sort of low-key prime NHL wingers right now. Because, we saw it a little bit earlier, Evander Kane, oh my goodness. And we have guys on the team right now like Pominville coming back and Matt Molson as well. I think that the Buffalo Sabres would benefit from guys who are wingers and still really capable of getting a lot of points in the upcoming seasons, especially playing alongside of Reinhart, Eichel, and, well, Casey Mittelstadt. So, but at the same time, man, Vancouver, I know we're expansion bros and everything, but just I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Berchi's a good player, yes, and I'd like to keep him, but if we're able to move him for younger assets that will help us down the line when Brock Besser is in his prime and all of that, I'm all for it. But Ryan O'Reilly? 27 years of age, he's already in a good position right now. I don't really see him getting any better, right? He's 27. 60-point season's probably his best season. So, who knows? Who really knows? And, it's weird. It is weird, right? Even for our center depth. We got guys like Pedersen and Dahlin and Gaudette and McEwen and Horvat. What even? Do we need O'Reilly? Man. The Vancouver Canucks are probably, let's say they're interested in him. And obviously, because he's a good player, they're going to be interested in him because the Canucks like good players. I think every hockey team likes good players. But I just don't see the Vancouver Canucks having any assets that I would be willing to give up in a trade like this. If we traded, like, Brandon Sutter for Ryan O'Reilly 1-for-1, then, oh my goodness, yes. Oh boy. I'd do that. But the Buffalo Sabres wouldn't. So, I'm not too sure. But if Brandon Sutter did find a way off the team, the Canucks traded him to, like, Carolina or something for Noah Hanifin. No, okay, stop right there. If the Canucks traded a Brandon Sutter-like guy and we had a center spot free, maybe not necessarily filled up with Adam Gaudette just yet, and we needed another center, okay, Ryan O'Reilly might seem plausible, but at the same time, I don't know what we'd give up. And that's just, man. Buffalo Sabres, man, in a really weird position, still at the bottom of the dog pile, just like us. They're expansion bros in the 1970s, 0 cups shared between us. I feel for you guys, Buffalo, but at the same time, I don't really know if this really makes sense for us over here. And the Sabres, I mean, are they really in a position that they need to trade away their older, aging guys? Evander Kane, yeah, okay, but that's already said and done. Ryan O'Reilly, I mean, Casey Mittelstadt's coming up. If Casey Mittelstadt's on the third line, he could really get a few really crazy plays, couldn't he? It's weird to think about. It's really weird to think about. Especially with Rasmus Dahlin and Mittelstadt making their debuts on the team next year. Like, why wouldn't you want to keep all your good players now? Like, these two could easily spark things up immediately. And, I don't know, maybe that's unfair for me to say. We've been saying that about the Sabres for years, right? They get a few good prospects in the draft. Oh my goodness, they're instantly a contender once again. Get some good free agents. Oh my goodness, they're in the playoffs once again. And no, they finish last again. It happens. It happens with the Sabres. So from my perspective, it's like, why do you even want to entertain this idea? Bob McKenzie, man, I don't, Man, this is just me talking, just not really making any sense. Basing an entire video just off of one thing that Bob McKenzie said on the radio. Boy, it's beautiful, the power that these radio broadcasters have over us fans, isn't it? But at the same time, Ryan O'Reilly, a good player. The Vancouver Canucks, maybe wanting to get him. I'm very skeptical about that. I don't know anything about what we'd give up or what they would want or what they would accept. And I don't think that it would fit, personally. We'd have too many two-way centers. If we didn't trade any centers and we got Ryan O'Reilly, Horvat, okay, two-way center. Sutter, two-way center. O'Reilly, two-way center. Granlund, two-way center. Gaudette, two-way center. What? Oh my gosh. This is weird. The only saving hope here is Pettersson coming in, making the team as a first-line playmaker, and getting 100 points in his first season. That's the only thing that I think would make this appeasing. But I don't really think that's gonna happen. Nor do I really think that O'Reilly's coming to Vancouver. This is just me spouting nonsense, to be honest. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Twitter, +, like that, gaming, and bye.